Good morning. I want to welcome you to our 21 days of prayer and fasting. As a church, over the next 21 days, we want to together be pursuing Jesus on a deeper level. And our hope is that this ignites a spiritual hunger and thirst for more of Him that will set the pace for 2025. You know, Jesus says in the Beatitudes in Matthew 5:6, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. And so we want to provide you resources to be able to help you ignite a spiritual hunger and thirst, a burning passion for the things of God in your life. And so you're going to be receiving this in your inbox every morning. And so this is a resource for you, a daily devotional to really get you moving in the right direction. Also, every morning at 6 a.m., the church will be open for corporate prayer. And on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. during the fast, we will have a prayer and worship experience. And so all of these things are just resources for you to individually really ignite a hunger and thirst for more of Jesus. And we know that as you do that individually, the corporate expression is going to be incredibly powerful. And so without further ado, day one, passion. Once there was a king who wanted to connect with his people, so he made personal invitations to come to a feast. On one occasion, a man accepted the invitation and showed up to the castle. He was invited in, taken into a room with a large dining table covered with a long sheet. He was told, the king will be with you in a moment. As he waited, he could smell the food underneath the sheet and he was hungry. After a while, he was tired of waiting, so he began reaching under the sheet and blindly taking pieces of food and eating. Finally, the king came into the room. Thank you for coming, he said. Please follow me. He led him into a banquet room with a huge feast prepared at the table. Welcome, let's eat. As they talked, the king noticed the man was not eating. What's wrong? Is my food not to your liking? He asked. The man, embarrassed, said, I was tired of waiting, so I ate in the other room. The king got up and led him back into the original room and pulled back the sheet. It was leftover food from the servants' dinner earlier that evening. The man got full on leftovers, so he had no appetite for the feast of the king. How do you end up with a relationship with God that feels more like stale leftovers than the feast you were promised? Could it be that you've settled for less, that you've been lulled into spiritual complacency while convincing yourself this is just normal? What if it's not? What if there's more? The God of the universe, the maker of heaven and earth, calls you into a relationship with him, a relationship that's meant to be alive, electric, life altering. And yet, if you're honest, you're often satisfied with living off the crumbs of yesterday's faith. Today, lean in and see how God invites you to wake up. Return to the one who sets hearts ablaze and feasts on a faith that ignites passion and satisfies the soul. Romans 12:11 and 12. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. How close do you feel to God right now? Pause for a moment and let that question sink in. Maybe there's a quiet longing, a sense that something is missing. Maybe your relationship with God feels quieter, less alive than it once was. You're doing the things you know how to do, going to church, reading your Bible, praying, but there's still a hollow ache, a gnawing hunger for something more. Maybe you've started to accept this as normal, as if this dull hum of spiritual life is all there is. But deep down, there's a voice whispering, this is not all there is. There's more. Here's the truth. God never intended for your relationship with him to grow stale. The God who breathed stars into existence, who formed the depths of the ocean, who knows every beat of your heart, is calling you into something far greater. He wants you to experience a vibrant, dynamic, and life-giving relationship with him. But here's the catch. It doesn't happen by accident. Keeping the fire alive takes a fight, a willingness to push past the mundane and seek him with everything you've got. This is what zeal looks like. It's not busyness or hype. It's a heart fully surrendered, burning with love for God and spilling over into a life of worship, joy, and purpose. When you step into alignment with His mission and His presence, something shifts. You find strength you didn't know you had. You find joy that doesn't depend on your circumstances. You find Him. But make no mistake, there's an enemy of your soul who doesn't need you to turn your back on God. He just needs you to settle, to get comfortable, to go through the motions and convince yourself that this is all there is. But Romans 8:11 says that the same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. That means the passion you're longing for, the intimacy you crave is already within reach. You just have to choose to lean in to what God is stirring within you. Don't settle. Don't coast. God is calling you into something extraordinary. The question is, will you step into it? Here's some listening prayer questions. Number one, Lord, where have I allowed my heart to grow cold or distracted in my relationship with you? What desires or priorities are competing with my zeal for you? Number two, Jesus, what does a thriving, passionate relationship with you look like for me in this season? As we begin this 21-day journey, remember, this isn't about striving harder. It's about surrendering more fully. Let God awaken the passion in you that He created you to have.